Hello, is this Sinister Gambino here with a new stream? In this stream, we'll be going over the event week for this week and Grand Theft Auto Online. But yes, starting off with the title and like the look of the main menu. If it is not already known for any reason for people, then there is no major content addition whatsoever. This is purely going to be an event week this time. So unless you are looking to make money or whatever, yes, unless you are looking to make money or whatever, then it's not really too worth playing this time around. But yes. Also, about the title, I would say definitely one of the main highlights definitely goes to the biker bonuses here. Biker bonuses here definitely some of the main highlights. With 2 times money RP on this biker sell missions. Biker sell missions, that would be your document forgery, your weed business, your counterfeit cash, methamphetamine, and your cocaine. Those will be on your 2 times money and RP. So you have quite a few different businesses you can do for that double money RP, which is quite nice. But yes, biker businesses is like your very first thing of like passive businesses in the game. In my opinion, they are the worst passive businesses in the game, I'll be quite honest. I don't know, in some cases, bunker can be a little bit worse. That's mostly if you're selling like more than 2. That's more so if you're selling like more than 1 whole thing of supplies though. But a biker business, even if you buy like 1 whole thing of supplies, I think you can get like free post-op vans and stuff like that. So my big problem with the biker businesses is they're not really too solo friendly. That's the main negative about the biker bonuses, is the businesses are not very solo friendly. Like not every solo mission's like next to impossible per se to do solo, but certain ones will definitely probably be impossible solo. Again, like the post-op vans, maybe like the trash masters and stuff. Ones like the dodos and like the helicopters and stuff, you could probably do those kind of solo. So it kind of all goes down to luck and whatnot. But yeah, being businesses, they are definitely very lucrative. 5 whole passive businesses. You can run the 5 whole passive businesses, and you can also do other things at the same time, which is fucking insane. So even if you're not going to be so dedicated to the biker businesses, you can do something else in the meantime. And I think with staff and equipment, like businesses typically take like a couple hours to produce a whole batch of supplies, like 1 whole batch of supplies. So yes, in the right circumstances, they're definitely very good. Motorcycle club work, eh, it's nowhere near as good as the VIP work, in my opinion, for motorcycle club work. I think you only get like 4 options, so the options are pretty limited. And then I think they also require other players, whereas VIP work, there's certain ones you can do solo. So as a lone wolf solo player, it's not really the greatest thing. And even if you're just better off with the sell missions anyways. And then right after that's another option that's just flat out better, pretty much, I would say. And that would be your clubhouse contracts of the 2 times rewards, 2 times money RP. Clubhouse contracts, I definitely like that a lot. I personally think it's pretty nice. As long as you have your spawn location at your actual clubhouse, and they're pretty easy to do every single time. Especially on these 19 systems with the fast loading time. And the added ability within the last couple updates to do invite only. The ability to do invite only without having to go to the creator. makes it very damn fast to go to another invite only with the clubhouse. But yes, clubhouse contracts, you get like free random missions. You don't really get the choice in like which free, it just gives you like free of them. There's a lot of pretty good ones. I think the one with the prison bus can be pretty alright. I think that's a solo one you can do. I think the new ones of Criminal Enterprise are definitely pretty nice. The one with like the oppressor and the death bike, I feel they can be some of the quicker ones. Since they use some pretty insane motorcycles on this too. On the oppressor one, you can even get like the oppressor keys, and you can even like use the actual oppressor instead of taking the cargo bot, which is pretty good. I think the death bike one pays like 35,000. 35,000, I think is actually one of the better payouts you can get. On regular money. Maybe I'll get like 70,000 on double money on that one. So yeah, 70,000 for the death bike one, I feel will definitely be one of your better options. Especially with a couple new ones out of the Chrono Enterprise DLC. There's a certain like torch contract that can be at one of your clubhouses. There's a torch biker clubhouse in like the cheapest biker clubhouse area. That's a pretty good one. I think gun running is a pretty alright one. There's like a gun running contract for clubhouse contracts. Trying to think of other ones. I feel Cracked's pretty alright. That should be a good few to several options for now. Maybe I'll go more in depth later on, but I think that's enough details for that one. On that one, you're definitely going to make some pretty alright money for the clubhouse contracts. I think it might even be the best choice to stack with your sell missions while you're producing. But yeah, while your businesses are producing passively, I think it's best to do the clubhouse contracts or something, I'm going to guess. In terms of the event stuff only. And then there's going to be more as well. Then yes, I think there's certain discounts I think going on with the biker clubhouse, but more on that later. Because it does have that little thing at the bottom there in the main menu. And then, if biker businesses aren't really your thing and you want more of a solo-friendly sale mission, the Asset Lab is going to be your friend here. 1.5 times money in RP. I believe the regular amount of like the staff equipment upgrades and all those like different upgrades, I think it's like 500,000. So I want to say on like 1.5 times, that's like 700 to 800,000 or something you can get at max, which is pretty damn decent for a solo-friendly business. For a very solo-friendly business. So I do think this is actually your better option. And you can also do this one passively as well, just like your biker businesses. So you can kind of run these and do the clubhouse contracts. That's fucking insane. But you pretty much only get the one delivery vehicle to Manchester Scout C. You can do it with other people, but I think it actually adds more vehicles if you play with more players. So it is better to do this one solo compared to with friends, unlike the biker businesses. And then yes, subscription stuff is still ongoing from the last time or two around. If you are fortunate enough to be in the 9th gen systems. For some reason I have free fucking... For some reason they want to really get me on that subscription, but I still am doing that shit. wasn't mentioned yet, 2 times production for your biker businesses. So it'll produce 2 times as quick. So maybe it's like 1 hour to 2 hours for one thing of supplies instead of like 2 to 3, as I was saying earlier. So it should get done even quicker then. Two times supplies on biker business resupply missions. You don't really want to be resupplying biker businesses like of your actual character. It's better to buy supplies, don't do it with your actual character. And yeah, club, motorcycle club challenges are also 2 times. Pretty much same thing as VIP challenges. I think you have to split the money with your other people, so it's not as good. And yes, Clubhouse gets you access to like a lot of that stuff like the businesses. So 40% off of that is very handy. Go more details later on. I don't think there's anything really new on that one. And I think that's it, pretty much here. Eleven days left, don't know. What will I ever do without the Plus subscription? Promoted to me for like at least 4 to 5 times now. But yes, sorry for the little pause, by the way. Someone's kind of in my way. I wanted to elaborate a bit more on the like VIP, not VIP, but the MC challenges. Like not the work part, but the challenges. Pretty much it's always better to just do work instead of challenges, because each person gets paid the same in your organization, like MC. Challenges, certain people actually get more money than other people. Like sure, challenges are fun for like goals to shoot for and whatnot, but they're just overall like less efficient for making money. Since if you don't do as good in the challenge, you kind of get penalized compared to other people in your organization. It's just not very ideal compared to the work. I think both really only have like 4 options. I'm gonna go MC real quick. see if I can show them. Maybe not, though. Alright. Club work. There's deathmatch. Deathmatch, You're gonna have to go against a whole nother fucking... Wait, what? How's that say on my club activity now? What the fuck? Oh. Oh, fucking hell. Figuring. I think I should go to another lobby and it's fine. I think so. Could be wrong, but I'm not gonna care too much. Of course, the 1 second I go in, I get a business raid. Of course I do. That's annoying. I think at least with a nightclub I've done it one time and I still had all my stuff. Oh my god.
I knew we should have paid him off.
You gotta get in. Wait. I'm having 2 in a row. Are you kidding me? Wow, I just want to show off the fucking club work, but that's not. Just wondering what the fuck it's that dungeon. Out of nowhere. Oh my god, are you fucking serious?
Shit. This is what happens when you don't pay the cops. The dirty bastards raid your business. See?
I guess I just have to unregister. That's bullshit. Like, is it just gonna keep happening once I do it? Like, are you serious? Just ban that shit. Fucking ridiculous. Just not really too worth it anyways. I guess that's what happens with the stash houses now. I mean, raids always happen, but not really for me, like, ever at all until the stash houses were a thing. Because of the stash houses, I'm actually getting more essentially business supplies than I usually get. Sorry, I'm actually not going to talk about like the different ones. Also, there's not really too great of options, I feel, for the club work and challenges anyways. VIP has a lot more options. Which is why I'm not really a big fan of the club work and challenges. None of the work you can even do solo, whereas VIP work at least you can do solo. Just better ways to spend your time in the game during this event week. I've seen my cocaine or whatever spawn, I don't know if it happened like 3 whole different separate times and shit. And it disbanded like right away in the about to be 4th time probably. I just got in the lobby, give me some fucking space, LJ fucking feeding, goddammit, no. But anyways, as I like to start off with pretty much with the time trials. Current time trial is Pillbox Hill Valley Cemetery. It's not the one like over here, like the lowrider mission or something, is it? Like find a cheese cache or something? I don't know. I think there's like some tree up here or something. I don't know. This isn't. I don't know. There's a couple of new locations I'm maybe thinking of. I don't think there to here would be like a 2-minute part time now. So I want to say that might be the one from like the lowrider mission up here or whatever in the desert. Those are the only two cemeteries I can really think of. If the description is anything to go off of. Either way, I think being in the heart of like the city, I think you want to prioritize the lap time on this one. If I were to take a guess, lap time prioritization, as per usual, would probably be your best bet. But yes, for motorcycles, on 9th gen, the choice is very obvious. Motorcycle, HSW, Hawktail Drag. HSW, Hawktail Drag, with the crazy top speed acceleration kind of stuff. And then for 8th gen, where the choices are not as obvious, motorcycles like the regular Hawktail Drag where you don't have HSW. It's pretty good. That one's also pretty good because I think you lean like forward on the stick with the drags for the best possible speed. Nagasaki Shotaro is a pretty good one for 8th gen, the Electron bike. That one's very good because I think you can lean like forward or backwards of the stick for that best possible speed. I think it's pretty good for lap time and top speed, like within like top 5 and 10. Something like that. An Electron bike is definitely still a very good one in some cases, at least for time trials. Not necessarily so much for actual racing anymore, but time trials for sure. So like Nagasaki, like Western Power Surge or whatever one it was for manufacturer. The newest motorcycle in Drug Wars, the Power Surge, like the one electric motorcycle in the game. That's a pretty interesting option. Even though it's an electric vehicle, it doesn't actually like have that terrible top speed actually that most electric vehicles have. Even though it is an electric motorcycle, I think it is within like top 5, top 10 top speed or something, which is pretty crazy. Being the one motorcycle, it's the one motorcycle that has like, being the one electric motorcycle, it's the one that has like an acceleration focus. Acceleration is like how fast you get the top speed, I believe, for acceleration essentially. So if you were put to stop for some reason, we'd be able to get right back up to speed real quick, which is nice. So I think those are a couple good options for 8th gen. Otherwise, I'll give 2 more options at least. A very good top speed option, I think, that one goes to the Western Reaver. Western Reaver from like the contract DLC, I think it's like almost $2 million motorcycle. Has some very insane top speed. In fact, I think it's even better top speed than HSW Hawktail Drag from what I've heard as well, which is pretty crazy. The only major difference between HSW Hawktail Drag and the Western Reaver has to do with the lap time, where the HSW Hawktail Drag, I think, has a clear advantage in there. Yeah, for top speed, I think Western Reaver is pretty good on top speed. Though I don't really think top speed is going to be that great of an option on this one. And then for your ultimate, like, budget option motorcycle, which is only like $15,000, but it's still a pretty good one for time trials, typically, would go to your Body 801, the Pegassi Body 801. $15,000 motorcycle from day one of the game. And from day one of the game, it's very cheap. With engine upgrades and stuff, it can maybe even be like under $500,000 or something. It's a very cheap, like, good budget go-to vehicle for the time trials, because time trials are a thing like since like 2015 or something, so something like the body one can be pretty successful for at least most of the time trials. So that's a pretty okay, decent like budget option. So that's a few good motorcycle recommendations. If you're not going to use a motorcycle, I would probably pretty much recommend like a supercar. In the case of 910, there's like a good couple to few like HSW supercars. There's like there's the weaponized Ignis HSW, which is mostly for lap time if I recall, so that's a pretty good one for HSW supercar on the 910 system. The acceleration focused like HSW supercar goes to like the coil cycling too. Another like electric kind of vehicle like the Power Surge, for example. And I think there's a couple of top speed focused ones as well, like the Devastate 8 HSW, and then there's the Entity MT HSW as well. But those two are more like top speed focused. And in the case of the NTMT, I don't really think you're getting a very good lap time at all, even for HSW. I think it's like 20th place in lap time or something, so especially that last one I probably wouldn't do though. And then another couple good ones actually for HSW for 9th gen would be the HSW Sterling GT and then HSW Vicaro CX. For those HSW vehicles, basically they're the two HSW vehicles from the Colonel Enterprise DLC, which are very groundbreaking in terms of the top speed. So again, not really going to be the greatest option since it's like in the heart of the city, but perhaps they can get some very good use out of them nevertheless. And then for 8th gen supercars, I think your top couple lap time ones go like the Progen Emrys, the Benefactor Krieger, and then like Benefactor like LM87 or whatever from like the Colonel Enterprise DLC. So those are your like top couple lap time supercars if I recall for like time trials. If for some reason you're not good on a motorcycle, or just do not want to use a motorcycle, and then top speed, I think pretty much your number one option is like the P-Fister 811 from like Finance Felony DLC way back from like mid 2016. It's like a $1,135,000 supercar. And then I think the regular Devastate is a pretty good top speed from what I recall. And I think it's like Banshee 900R or something, like the Benny's upgrade Banshee, whatever, like after that one. For the supercar class, for top speed. And then I think the new NTMT, like the regular, like non-HSW for 8th gen would be good. Top speed possibility as well if you want to go more for top speed for any reason. I actually give tons of options for motorcycle and supercar classes for the time trial. RC Bandito time trial this time around goes to Vespucci Canals. But yeah, personally, there's not really much of any noteworthy advice with the RC Bandito time trials, to be honest. For one, you only get the one RC Bandito option to use. You can't even use like the Invader Pursuit tank, you only get your one RC Bandito option. So vehicle-wise, you can't really use anything else. All you gotta know is like how to corner on them and whatnot, which becomes pretty apparent if you try it like multiple times and whatnot. RC Bandito time trial not really too interesting in my opinion. They're only like $100,000 anyways. And then HSW time trial. That goes to terminal. Where you're going from like terminal all the way, I think, up to here, if I recall. Or not like down here, but over here, actually, to be exact. But yes, just a certain strategy I'll show for that later on in terms of the GPS route. Or actually, I'll kind of explain it here for HSW. First of all, I already gave off like several like options you could really use for the HSW vehicles. I pretty much gave like 7 options, I would say at least, that are pretty worthwhile to use for these HSW time trials. But do know you can use pretty much any HSW vehicle you want, since unlike other time trials, the part time is determined on like what vehicle you use. So because it's dependent on the vehicle and not the actual course, you can pretty much use anything. But yes. Anyways, I think the marker for that is like over here. But if you do it over there, it will actually wants you to like go through like the desert and whatnot. If you mark where the actual marker is, if it wants you like going into like the desert cross country, which is not very good. So instead, what you should do is you can mark a little to the left, and then it will actually take you on like the highway instead, which is much better. Gets you tons of advantage for your HSW like top speeds and whatnot. So that's a major thing of advice for that particular time trial. I swear I can remember. In Premium Race, it is for the supercar class. I already gave a ton of options for the supercar class when talking about the time trials, so do not really need to elaborate on it much more. Something to note though, unfortunately it took away the ability to see the map on like the pause menu. I'm not sure why you can't do that anymore. But it was a feature like a year ago or something where you could see the map on like the pause menu. Either way, just go into the race and you should be able to see the map by pressing like square or like X or whatever on like Xbox and whatever on like PC. Pressing a certain button actually allows you to view the map, and then you can see if there's like a lot of straights or like mostly turning like cornering for like lap time and whatnot. So that's all the advice there pretty much. And then from there I should be ready to go into the casino and whatnot. So I can go over the coding vehicle and like other kinds of event stuff. On me personally, by the way, I'm going to be using the Rally HSW like I've been using for a while for the HSW time trial for those interested. Since I do like to do the regular and HSW time trials on stream. So I'm making a bit of money for the next DLC and whatnot. I like things to just go on this current update even. But yes. From what I remember looking out in the newswire, and it's a pretty unique look, so it's not a hard one to know. I believe this one is the ENS Stafford over here. ENS Stafford, pretty cool vehicle. It's pretty cool appearance-wise, and when it comes to like being in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Performance-wise, though, I don't really think it's a good one now. Either way, I'll go over exact numbers when I get to it. I don't necessarily think it's a very expensive one. Probably like around $1 million at most. Probably not much more than $1 million. Boot mystery. Are you kidding me? I got 10,000. 10,000 RP for mystery. Can you just get that shit normally? Bruh. Yeah, 10,000 RP is basically what I would have got 2 more away from that. I wish mystery would have been more interesting. I always liked the mystery though, it's only like a 1 in 20 and you can get all kinds of shit in there. Mystery can either be some of your worst stuff or some of your best stuff. Fortunately, it's like one of the worst things I could have got. So that was pretty disappointing. Might have actually been the worst mystery I've ever gotten, actually. I think someone, I think I saw someone get like E. coli at one time or some shit. It's pretty funny. Kind of random shit you can get from it. You can even get like the rarest vehicle in the game, and I think the only legitimate way to get it, I think the only legitimate way to get a certain vehicle in the game is actually the lucky wheel, believe it or not, for mystery. Whatever, no. Can be super lucky, unfortunately, aside from really down to 1 in 20, I guess. That's why I don't fucking spin every day. Anyways, Outer Motorsport 2-door. I'll preview some discounts. Okay, I must be somewhere else. Okay, this one might be 4-door, actually. Whoops. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to preview some discounts, apparently. I just didn't notice it was 4-door. Yeah, like I was saying, just a little over $1 million at most, kind of. Yeah, seeing a Stafford here. By getting this podium vehicle, you will save at least $1,272,000. Plus, if it has a livery on it, which I think this one does, then you'll probably save another like 20 to 30,000. And that assumes you keep whatever livery is already on the vehicle. So if you keep whatever livery is on the vehicle, if it has one, then it could probably be almost 1.3 million savings or something. So yeah. It could save you like 1 hour of time, I feel. It's not a multiple $1 million vehicle, which have done those as podium vehicles before. Just nowhere near your best savings, but for those wondering about like the performance of the vehicle, I'll be going over it here shortly. Should be in the sedan class. So it's not a very important class for racing at all, and even if it is, I don't think it's on the top of it anywhere. But yes. Trying to look for it right now. Alright, yes, Ian Stafford here. It is indeed in a sedan class. According to Breathy1322, which is a racing YouTuber on like GP Online and whatnot, Ian Stafford is at the very top of H tier. H tier would be pretty bad since that's beneath like F in terms of like your typical like gradient system. So H tier, top of that's pretty bad. And that gives it 29th place for lap time. And then apparently also 29th place for top speed as well. And there's only like 35 sedans in the game or something. It's just really not that many. In fact, it's like at the very tail end of like 20s. That's terrible. So yes, performance-wise, as you would expect by the look, it's nothing too crazy at all. You only really want it for personal preference, like customization kind of reasons. Again, as I was saying, it is a returning vehicle from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is actually one of those like export vehicles. It was one of the vehicles you had to take to like the crane for like the export and import like side mission in San Andreas. It was pretty cool. think it even had like a pretty unique horn in that game as well. I think in GTA Online it does even have a pretty unique horn as well, but it might not be exactly one-to-one. You gotta keep in mind you can modify your horn in this game. Whereas San Andreas, I don't think you can modify the horn. So if you modify the horn, you won't have the unique horn. So maybe keep it like stock. So if you aren't a fan of keeping things stock, then it might not be the greatest value there. Alright, yes, it was Stafford on the news wire as well. Alright, South African imports complete for my club apparently. And yeah, LGT text had nothing to do with like the rate stuff from earlier. Cause that was sounding like it was for cocaine one time at least. But yes. Now for the test track, I want to go over like test rides, prize ride, premium test ride, whatever all. So starting off, it looks like for test vehicles for the test ride, there is the Ocelot Swinger, Vado Gauntlet Hellfire, and then the ENS Jubilee, or whatever pronunciation there. I think I probably got it right. I might be wrong though. And I want to say only the Gauntlet Hellfire, I believe, is on sale, so mostly we'd be talking about that one. I do also kind of want to bring them to Jubilee, because it's actually a pretty good one, even though it's not on a discount, as I will explain. I'll be absolutely sure here, though. Alright. Yes. Does look like only the Gauntlet Hellfire will be on 1% off discount. Swinger and then your Jubilee will be full price. But yes, starting off with the Swinger, I will not go into exact numbers since it is not on discount. But it might be a very retro vehicle from like the 2D universe of GTA games. Don't exactly quote me on that one. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one compared to other ones, but I want to say it might be a retro vehicle in the 2D universe from what I remember, but yeah. And I think for Sport Classic, it is actually pretty alright in the Sport Classic class somewhere. I don't think it's good for both lap time and top speed, but I think like one of them it's probably pretty good for. Like, not like top 1, 3, or 5 per se, maybe more like top 10 somewhere, if I'm remembering right. Because he might be able to get some good performance out of it. But as it's not on discount, I don't want to go into much detail on that. But then there is the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire. The one here will be $521,500, and you get a very particular build and like livery and stuff if you get it here. Otherwise, it might be like lower 500,000 or like high 400,000 or something when you get on like the website, where you won't be getting a livery and you want to choose like a single color or whatever. But yes, Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, and that is in the muscle car class as you would expect. And I'll go over the exact numbers here. So I know what I did with the Stafford. Alright. According to roughly 152 spreadsheet, Gauntlet Hellfire in the muscle car class will be at the very bottom of C tier. C tier probably won't be within top 10, but it's not the worst tier to have. But at the very bottom of C tier, putting it at like 23rd place for lap time, and actually a 7th place for top speed. Okay. So you can get some actual decent top speed on this one. I think definitely for sure being within like top 10 for top speed, being at number 7 definitely gives it some utility. That could still be worth having for like a racing situation. Won't be at like the very top, so it's probably not one of your better options. But like it's still somewhat serviceable at least. So I think it's pretty alright buy, especially when something like $500,000 on the discount. And then yeah, your Jubilee here again, that will be on a full price. That'll be $1,247,500. And yeah, keep in mind with these builds, you pay for delivery and stuff as well, I'm pretty certain. But yes, even though it is not on discount, it is one of those like Amani Tech vehicles. Amani Tech vehicles, it is one of the older Amani Tech vehicles, which means it has bullet resistant glass, which means you get a little bit of bullet protection with the windows. You have the option to apply armor plating for extra like explosive resistance. Normally I think you can take like 3 like homing missiles, which is actually pretty decent without armor in that regard. But I think pretty much everything else pretty much instantly blows it up besides for homing missiles. Maybe not explosive sniper rounds, but most things will pretty much instantly destroy without armor from my understanding. With armor, this thing's going to be a fucking tank pretty much though. If you combine it with something else. If you combine it with something else in certain cases. At least when it comes to homing missiles. Also, being one of the older Amani Tech vehicles, it has machine guns on the front. So you can put machine guns on the front of it, so it has like mounted weaponry, which can make it good for something like Headhunter, like the Headhunter VIP work. Not to be confused with the Clubhouse work on the double money, whatever. Like the VIP work Headhunter, it can be pretty alright for something like that. That can get you like $25,000, like $30,000 around there. So it can be an okay money-making vehicle for free mode at least. But it's not going to be very impactful for like huge money making opportunities, pretty much. Being a mining tech vehicle has access to silic mines. Silic mines spin vehicles out essentially. Not the greatest mine type, but you're pretty much forced to use the silic mines. You don't have other mine options, so you might as well take it. And then, as far, and then the only other stuff I think is the money tech upgrades, which would be the missile lock-on jammer and then the remote control unit. Missile lock-on jammer prevents homing missiles from locking onto your vehicle. Being an SUV, not like a sport car, like a muscle car, it's not going to be as quick. Not being a very quick mining tech vehicle per se, I think it's definitely worth the missile lock-on jammer. Otherwise, there's remote control unit, which allows you to like turn it into like an RC vehicle, similar to like RC Bandito. So yes, I did think this one's pretty good for the missile lock-on jammer, as is most of the mining tech vehicles. The huge advantage this one kind of has, though, I feel, compared to the other mining tech vehicles. A lot of the mining tech vehicles can have like a certain advantage over other ones. The main advantage of this one is being an SUV. It does have higher placed machine guns. Having higher placement machine guns makes it better for Headhunter than other mining tech vehicles, for example. Higher up machine guns can potentially like kill players in their vehicles, potentially kill players in their actual vehicles with like their windows, since the positions would be higher up on those machine guns. So it's probably a good idea of like how this one can be compared to other ones in terms of its advantage. But yeah, mining tech vehicles give you access to all kinds of cool shit. So I think it's very nice to pick this one up, even though it is full price. I think the Swinger is definitely going to be your weakest one this time. Full price for this one, by the way, $909,000. Yeah, these two are definitely the main spotlights here. Prize ride this time around goes to the Inca Vito Classic. Yes, you're getting an actual fucking go-kart. But yes, for the go-kart, place top 3 for 3 days in a row for the Street Race Series. Very easy challenge aside for the 3 days in a row. But yeah, Street Race is very easy to find. Street Race followed by hyphen, followed by unique name for said street race. Very damn easy to find them. As you will notice with the top 3, you can actually do it with 2 players. So as long as you're doing it with 2 or 3 players, you're pretty much guaranteed an entry. So the only hard part is the 3 days in a row. As far as I understand, it does count if you're doing it with the 2 and 3 players. It does count as a top 3. Even though it's impossible to be out of top 3 in my case, I think it does count. So yeah, it's a very easy one as long as you do it with 2 and 3 players. Just 3 days in a row is the annoying part. That's a bit excessive for a vehicle. That's definitely not very good performance-wise. I don't even think you can use it in regular races either. I think you can only use it in go-kart races for like the creator races and whatnot. Rockstar doesn't do their own go-kart races, I don't think, but I think if there's like a go-kart class race and like the creator, from like a content creator or something, then you can use them in certain races only, I believe. So you can use them in like any sport race you want, so keep that in mind. But yes, classic again, right? Yeah, the Vito Classic, not to be confused with the modern. But yes, Vito Classic, between the four sport vehicles you cannot use in regular sport car races, there is a total of four like sport vehicles you cannot use in sport car races. Vito Classic is one of the four. It is the worst of the four that you cannot use in your traditional sport car races. So in a sense, it kind of makes it the worst vehicle in terms of like sport performance, since you can't really use it in much races anyways. And it's a fucking go-kart. It's pretty much like the bottom of the entire sport class. So there's not super exact numbers to give since it's not usable in like actual sport car races. But yeah, it's pretty much the bottom of the bottom for sport class, which is like over 100 vehicles in the game now. Either exactly 100 or like 100 sport cars in the entire game now, I believe there is. It's fucking insane. So yeah, flat out terrible. Flat out terrible unless you're using it in a go-kart race. And then pre-em test ride this time around is a Karen S95. The Karen S95, between the two sport HSW vehicles in the game, I think it prioritizes lap time. The other one is the Banshee HSW, which prioritizes top speed. S95 is definitely lap time focused between the two. Lap time you want more than top speed, so that's good. So it's better of the two sport HSW vehicles in the entire game. But yes, the one part that's really not that good there, I would definitely say would be the go-kart. I would honestly say the test ride selection was pretty good this time around. In terms of like good performance and like good unique like utility and whatnot. Okay, there's one of the street dealers that will take advantage of that. Even though there is double and like biker stuff and acid stuff, there's 1.5 pounds on those. Yeah, the street dealer might be a pretty bad idea this week, especially when there's pretty much all of that stuff on like the money opportunities for the actual business side of things. Personally, I'm not a big fan of sale missions typically, but yeah. Sure, I'll do the weed. Being the premium thing here or whatnot.
Alright, later.
I'm not really too big on the MC sale missions like I mentioned in the beginning anyways, so. Especially this event, it's definitely a waste. In terms of this event, it's definitely a waste since you do have the actual weed business a few times though. So, I think from what I hear, it does actually take from your nightclub. I don't know, from what I've heard, it actually takes it from the nightclub though, for like the weed in the nightclub. I don't know, that's what I heard at least, but maybe it kind of takes from both, I don't know. So it could possibly take from your actual business though. The street dealer is honestly probably not a good idea, but I'm not big on the sales anyways. But yes, luxury autos this time around. There is the Vicer Neo, and then P-Fister Neon. This one I think is full price. I think the Neo is the one that's on discount. Alright, yes. Neo is on a 30% off discount for the sport car. So yes, the sport car is a 30% off. And yes, if you get it here, you do get a livery on it. Otherwise, you do have the option to get it on the website for a bit cheaper. If you're not a big fan of the builder or something. Yeah, this one's $1,347,010. So pretty much 1.3 million right now with 30% off. Do not think this one is a trade price. I think it's just full price. Like normally. But yes. Going into Bruffy 1322 spreadsheet. Vicer Neo. The Vicer Neo is actually looking pretty good. And that is because it is at the bottom of S tier. According to the spreadsheet, it's at the bottom of S tier. For those that don't know a tier list, S tier is pretty much like the way top of a tier list. So if it's an S at all, it tends to be pretty good in some cases. That makes it like number 6 for lap time. And number 14 for top speed. And yes, if you're on 8th gen, it actually becomes like number 4 even for lap time. But yeah, 9th gen is within like top 10. On 8th gen is within like top 5 because it bumps up to number 4 without HSW being a thing on 8th gen. So especially 8th gen, definitely very nice performance. Top 10 is still pretty respectable though for 9th gen though. So you're getting some pretty respectable lap time. Could be a very nice one. Not to mention the Vicer manufacturer. I think this might be the only Vicer in the game actually. So I think it's a very unique manufacturer for this vehicle that no other vehicle has. So if that's a big incentive to get the vehicle, it's probably a pretty good one to get. So it's pretty unique in that regard. And then yes, P-Fister Neon looks to be 4-door actually, so that's kind of cool. It's a 4-door electric sport car. But yes, it's an electric vehicle, so lap time could be whatever. Being electric, it does have some of the best acceleration between sport cars, probably. So acceleration should be pretty good on this one. Top speed, I think, should be pretty bad on it, since it is an electric one, though. So keep that in mind if you decide to get this one. But you will be paying full price, 1.5 million. for Simeon's here. I think Simeon's actually has the most discounts. I think it's like 2 vehicles. All the discounts this time, I think, for vehicles I saw were all in the showrooms. So I do not think there's one discount that's out of the showrooms, so fortunately what you see is what you get if you're not a big fan on them. So far the performance for the discounts isn't too terrible though. They're at least top 10 somewhere for the Gauntlet Hellfire and then the Neo. So at least like 2 more discounts for vehicles. In particular, apparently. But yes, at Simeon's this time around, there's the Vapid Retinue Mark II, Progen GP1, Janus Windsor, Janus Windsor drop as well. That's pretty funny. And then Janus LG RH8. And yes, this one is free if you're on the social club, I believe, which most people tend to be, I believe. And that's probably a lot of people that aren't as well, but it's not that expensive even if you're not social club. I believe it's only like $100,000. So I don't think it's that expensive even without. But yes, Rennie Mark II I think is actually a sport classic. GP1 is supercar. These are coupes, I believe, and then this is sport for classing. As for the discounts, I believe it's a GP1 and the ones that were drop in particular. Alright, yes. GP1 and your ones that were drop are indeed your discounts. But yes. Ready Mark II. I mean, clearly it's better than Mark 1 retinue, certainly. So that's something I can say for sure on this one. Since I'm not going to be going over exact numbers since it's not on a discount. If I remember right, it is actually somewhat respectable in the Sport Classic class. I think it might be within top 10 somewhere. Again, I'm not going to go into the exact numbers though when it's not on discount though. I think it has somewhat respectable performance if I recall right. So it could be one kind of worth getting. Though it is like 1,640,000, so it's pretty pricey, so I probably wouldn't go for it just because it's on discount. Not on discount. And there's for sure better options for Sport Classic class, I know for a fact. So I think it's like this super. I think it's like classic supercars for the most part, and it's on the top. And it's clearly not one of those. But yes, for the supercar class, Progen GP1 here. Going to go into exact numbers on this one since it is on a discount. Progen GP1 according to Bruffy 1 for spreadsheet, looks to be in like the middle of E tier. E comes right before F, so it's not like crazy bad in a sense. Maybe just a little bit over that for lap time. So being in the middle of like E tier pretty much gives it 45th place for lap time. There's like 60 supercars, that's definitely below average for the entire class. 45th lap time, 33rd place top speed. I think even the top speed is below average for the entire class, which has like 60 vehicles in the game at this point, like 60-ish. Like low 60, I believe, is how much it has right now for supercar class. So, yes. Unfortunately, this one's a pretty terrible discount performance-wise. You only really want it for personal preference customization kind of reasons. Alright, we'll have to go to the arcade later. We're at 100,000. So if there's one discount to avoid between the three so far for sure, it's definitely this one. Oh no, I don't know if I showed the price of it yet. On discount, it's apparently 882,000 for 30% off. It's not an expensive supercar if you want a pretty cheap supercar, but you get what you pay for, so it's cheap for a reason, as I just explained. So yeah, definitely first discount is definitely an avoid in my opinion. And then the regular ENS ones were. This one was released back in Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1, I believe it was. Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1. That was a DLC in like mid-2015. Reason I'm saying that is because it's actually an old enough vehicle that's in the story mode of the game. So you can actually get this vehicle in single player. So because you can get the vehicle in single player, I do not really recommend picking up the regular ones that were. I will be quite honest. Oh, and yes, there is also a certain way to get it for free actually as well. That's another reason not really to get it too much. So if I sort by price, okay, featured wouldn't have that, right? Four door, right? Maybe two door. Alright, yes. But yes, Ill-Gotten Gains, that's a part 1. That is a DLC where you can get all the vehicles in story mode, so not really worth wasting a garage slot on it per se. And again, you can get it for free with this little money icon here. And that is from the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. If you get the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, this vehicle actually becomes free instead of what the original price is. One cool thing about it though is you get multiple different livery options, which is pretty cool. Back in like 2015, I think it was like one of the very first, if not like the very first like car that had like livery support. So it was kind of one of the first like vehicles to have the livery support, which was pretty cool at the time. But it's not really all that special anymore. Again, even with any of the good stuff, it's just not too worth wasting an online garage spot on it. Just to get it in story mode, what's the point? And yeah, that's right, this one's not on discount, so I'm not gonna go over performance now. I just want to show how you can get it for free, and it's in story mode, it's just not too worth it. Windsor that might be more worth it though, definitely for sure, would go to the Windsor drop. And that's Windsor drop. So I want a two-door because of the like convertible roof. I'm not too sure actually. Might still be four-door.
Mama vergas!
Alright, yeah, it's four-door. It looks like. Alright. Okay, the NS Windsor drop. Looks like instead of 900,000, it becomes $630,000 on a discount. 30% off discount, getting you $270,000 off. You can get this vehicle in like 1 hour. Under $1 million vehicle, not the greatest savings, but yeah. Drop is essentially a convertible version of the regular Windsor. I don't think this one necessarily has livery support. I could be wrong now. So if this one doesn't have livery support, that's kind of a con of this one compared to the regular Windsor. But this one's from mid-2016, so you cannot get it in story mode. So you can only get this one online. So that automatically, in my opinion, makes it better to get than the regular Windsor. And this one should be in coupe, it looks like. Pretty unique class in there. Not many of those in the game. But yes. In the coupe class, it is at the very bottom of D tier. Very bottom of D tier, and that's actually very bad for the coupe class, since there's only 18 of those in the entire game. Makes it number 17 out of 18, that's terrible. So it has a very bad lap time, but it is the number 3 top speed for the coupe class. So that's very good in there, though. But yes. Usually lap time is better than top speed. It's not going to be good for most cases, but if you want a coupe that's very good on like highways or something, it can be a very nice option. So performance-wise, there is some nice usage for this one, so it could be worth picking up if you're a big fan of the vehicle. Something interesting, by the way, about the regular Windsor is the Windsor actually previously featured in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in the 3D universe of the GTA series. So it did previously feature in the GTA franchise, which was pretty cool. So it's one of those like nostalgic vehicles that's in the past title. So that's kind of the benefit of the regular one over the drop as well. But the drop's essentially a returning vehicle from 3D universe, but in like a drop variant, which is kind of cool. I think in fact the one in San Andreas actually kind of had like a convertible like roof, if I recall, so it's kind of a little more of a throwback in some ways. I don't know. Either way though, the Windsor is very different looking in San Andreas. It's not the greatest conversion from 3D Universe to HD Universe. 3D Universe is more of like a sportier vehicle. It's more of a sportier looking coupe, and like 3D Universe, it was like more of a luxurious. It's more of a luxurious looking coupe, more of a luxurious vehicle in general in the coupe class for GTA Online, though. So it's not the greatest conversion, but definitely has some very fun throwback moments. Where I think was in one of the later like Santos missions in San Andreas, where you like took back the Mad Dog Mansion or something. It was pretty cool. Probably was used in the 3D universe. So yes, it's a very fun throwback vehicle, even though they're kind of pretty different looking between the 3D universe and HD universe renditions. But yes, between the four discounts, the only bad one is definitely the GP one for vehicle discounts. Every other one is good performance somewhere at least. Often like top 10 at the worst. So yes, I think it can be a pretty nice discount. And then this LG RH8. Again, you can get this vehicle for free, and I think you just simply need the Rockstar Games Social Club for free. So as long as you have a Social Club account, I believe you get it for free. Which is like the crew tag thing, like the SLVF. That's kind of like the crew tag kind of feature thing. Something like that, essentially, and gets you it for free. Otherwise, I think it's only like $100,000, which is not terrible. Ever since they added it for like general purchase, ever since they did like the LG Retro Custom, I think you can purchase it for $100,000 after. If you don't have Social Club. But yes, LG RH8 in a lot of the early game, I think was within like top 10, but yeah, for a lot of the early to like around like 2020, I feel it was pretty top 10, but it fell off pretty heavily if I recall. So I think it's out of top 10 for both laptop top speed. But this is the this OG Retro Custom over here. So you can turn it into Benny's as well, which is cool. That's funny, you can actually do that like thing and it just goes back up since there's no like filter thing like that. But yes, it is on Benny's. And as I pointed out earlier, customized example turns it into the LG Retro Custom. Being a Retro Custom, but yes, being an LG Retro Custom, being one of the like Retro Custom builds in Benny's, it turns into an older vehicle. Therefore, the performance is probably not as good if you turn it into Benny's. But even then, I don't think the performance on either of them is too spectacular anymore. So either way, you're not getting very good performance. So if you do get it, I do really think it's going to be mainly to get it as a LG Retro Custom. It's pretty fun, for sure. Turning it into the Retro Custom, it's a very fun vehicle to customize. Has some of the most customization in the game if you do that.
Hey, man.
But aside for that, it's not on discount though. So I really only wanted to point out that you can turn it into Benny's vehicle. And that you get it for free for the social club. I think is how you do that. So yes, the social club gets it for free. Or whatever the fuck. And then has LG Retro Custom, Benny's conversion. Oh, yes. In general, which ones are best to get? Obviously, the ones on discount I would prioritize the most, being the GP1 and the Windsor drop. Being the ones on discount, I think it's pretty clear those are the two best getting to get the most. And then, yeah, for the ones not on discount. Oh, and yes. You can also get the RH8 in story mode, I think, as well. RH8 is actually from the very start of GTA Online. But yes, LG RH8 is pretty much available at the very start of GTA Online, so it's pretty much available from the get-go in like October 2013. It's even in the story mode of the game, so it's kind of another wasted garage space similar to the Windsor, so keep that in mind. So I think this, and then these, just because you can get them in story mode, I think will honestly be the two least worth getting. Granted, there's some ways to get it for free that are technically always kind of worth getting, even without them on the showroom, so get them if you want, obviously, if you have them available for free, especially. Honestly, in a sense, that kind of makes the Retinue Mark II the worst discount, just because it's very pricey, since it's not discount worst vehicle, it means because it's full price at 1.6 million. Yeah, I think this is pretty much going to be your worst offer here between the five, since technically you can get these ones for free in some cases. And then second, kind of second best discount, just because between the discount ones, this is the second one. And between the other one on discount, this is definitely the one to get here. If you're going for a discount at all, then this is definitely the one. So hopefully that's a good breakdown finally of like which ones are more worth than others. And then yes, from there I just gotta mention any other like money opportunity and like discount does yet to be covered. And I'll do the regular HSW time trials. But yes, biker cell missions. The way I was, the way I mentioned them earlier on was like from worst order to best order. So document forgery is the worst. Weed's like second worst. Counterfeit cash is like your average one here. And then it goes like methamphetamine and finally coke for your couple better ones. So that's like the order from like worst to best, so you know which ones to prioritize the most. If you aren't a fan of like running all five of them, then just choose like your best couple or so, perhaps. So hopefully that makes it pretty clear which ones are more worth than others. Again, resupply missions, just don't do the resupply missions, they're just a waste of time. Yes, you can get double supplies for them this time, but just buy the supplies for 75,000. Make your $75,000 back another way, like your clubhouse contracts on 2 times. You can do plenty of those, like while your stuff produces in like the 1 to 2 hours, I assume, with staff equipment, with those double speeds. Just don't do resupplies, not worth it. again, I kind of rate some of your better and like worse like sports missions. Some of your worst ones are gonna be the post-op vans, like the trash master, like garbage trucks. In my opinion, easily, I would say it's pretty much backed. There's a lot of good ones though, for the most part, but the shitty ones are pretty common, which makes me not a big fan of the biker businesses. They're good, obviously, but if you're a solo player like myself, for the most part, don't expect to get too much benefit out of the 2 times on the biker then. I think I pretty much mentioned everything I wanted to mention. I just wanted to clarify a couple more things again. Well, I have like the map displays for all the businesses and whatnot. Speaking of biker businesses, I guess I'll do my stash house for today. Since I like to do the stash houses when I do the live streams, since they give business supplies. Which is why I was having the MCU raids, which usually I don't, but because I've been getting the supplies for like the biker businesses, it's been a much more common thing for me. Or like, you know, it's pretty much the first time I've had a business raid for the MC, to be honest, if I did not mention that. Swear my camera is like drifting pretty heavily. Not as bad as like last stream, but it's still for my like right stick from fucking DualSense. As far as I know, the white ones are like older DualSenses or some shit, or there's like something with like material build. I think some of the newer like colored DualSense fixes some of the drifting problems, but my god, no. I don't even remember doing anything on it crazy within it fucking drifts. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Oh shit! Where you gonna
Kiss
go?
my ass. You all trifling
Didn't you get
motherfucker.
my...
Take cover, Holmes. Yo,
That's
Holmes,
alright.
help me out.
Headshot.
You fucking asshole!
Oh, come on.
I said, you motherfucker!
And then there's this last one, okay. It's just me, or did pretty much all the woman characters get headshots, and then the guy ones that body shot in. Wasn't really intentional per se, but interesting. Wait, wait, no, there's weed and meth. I was like, does this stuff inside suggest like what you get? But not necessarily. No, I don't think. I think it's still random. All right, 28, 398. Get my joystick on the wrong way. I think. I don't know why I didn't just use the D-pad, which I think I usually do. But there, that's it. Oh yeah, when does the character bring on like a home launcher for a moment? I think that's what happens there. For like that split second, I don't know. I feel it's more like a whole second even. Where it brings out like a home launcher or something. Weird. Not sure why that happens, but Interesting. Alright, bunker. It's actually not a very good one. Because bunker, you pretty much want like one thing as a bias if you're doing it solo. I mean, I guess if you're doing it with a group, it's pretty good to get multiples, but oh well. I think I got the silver award there for Stash Houses. Cool. I would talk more about the club work, but again, I wanted to, but I just kept getting the business rates when I was a student and shit, so nope. There was one called like deathmatch. Of course, you're going to have to like select another organization for fucking deathmatch. Why would you fucking do that? You're just going to get targeted by a whole other organization doing deathmatch, pretty much. Why would you like realistically want to do that for money making? I forget if it's work or challenge. I guess like stand your ground. Stand your ground. I think it's a pretty popular one, but I think a lot of like tryhard groups and shit do that. I don't fucking know. You're essentially just like encouraging all hobby players to go after you if you do stand your ground. Kind of. If someone decides to like invade it or some shit. I don't know. Not really. I don't really think there's that many good options. You only get like 4 options per each, if I recall, for the working challenges. Again, I would fucking show the names of it and stuff, but nope. I'm not doing fucking business right just now. I want to try it like the end or some shit. Again, club work's just not gonna be one of your better options. Same goes with the challenges. Clubhouse contracts. I think I pretty much mentioned everything I wanted to mention. The highest payout, again, I can kind of think of it recent would be like the Death Bike one from Colonel Enterprise. I think I want to say that one like normally gets you like 35,000 at like most. So like 2 times on that would be like what, 70,000, which is pretty respectable for free mode money. So yeah, you can definitely get some pretty amazing free mode money from the clubhouse contracts if you get like the right ones and everything. Should I lock on at like the police station here? Because that would make sense, but otherwise I don't know why I would lock on here. Where I could helicopter this guy, but I don't even know what's that high. Whatever. I don't think anything significant happened or anything around here. So I think pretty much mentioned everything earlier on about the clubhouse contracts. Nothing really more to elaborate on this as far as I'm aware. Again, it depends production. I think would make it more like 1 to 2 hours per production instead of like 2 to 3. That's what's happening in equipment upgrades. So you're getting the fastest production possible. So it should be less like waiting time, less like making your money back essentially. Which in some ways is good, in some ways not so good, but it's probably better than it is worse. I guess there's some disadvantage not making as much money while you wait for the stuff to produce, but it's still mostly positive there. Just no one respawns for sure, as I mentioned earlier. Those really are not too worth doing. Why source when you can just get your money for other ways while you buy the supplies and waiting 1 or 2 hours for it to produce? When you're already going to be making mostly profit on that anyways. Even if you weren't to make it back other ways. As long as the sales go well and everything. Which should happen since you can do them in invite only as in the last couple updates. If you're wanting to do that route. But yes. Acid Lab. Again, Acid Lab, I pretty much mentioned everything. Essentially, like, solo friendly passive business. Where you only get like the one like motorcycle to start with. So the sale missions are very friendly for solo play. So if you mainly play solo, Acid Lab is going to be probably better off than your MC. But you have like 6 whole passive businesses that have like money opportunities, so you might as well do as many as you think you can fit in your routine. So no reason not to do any of them really. I would do as many as you can fit in your routine as possible. And yeah, buying the supplies, I think it's only like 60,000, I think, compared to like 75,000. So you actually buy the supplies for cheaper when it comes to the Acid Lab, I think, compared to your other passive businesses. And you can also buy those ones on the phone as well. But yeah, for biker businesses, you want to actually go to your arcade, which I still need to actually do. On that master control terminal, you can buy the supplies for all those biker businesses there. And on the phone, you can buy the Acid Lab supplies. So that's the advice for buying supplies. Master control terminal, the phone for the Acid Lab. I think it might be like free $75,000 to buy supplies for each biker business. I think that's like half of like 750,000. 5 times of 75,000. Yeah, I think it's like free 75,000. And like 60,000. That's like 450,000 you want to probably try to make back in like 1 to 2 hours, which very easily could happen depending on what you do. And that would probably involve stuff that's not tied to the event week. So keep that in mind if you're mainly focused on doing stuff purely with the event week for fun sakes. I don't really think there's anything else I want to elaborate on for Acid Lab still missions. I think I mostly mentioned everything. Oh yeah, just remember to boost your acid production. I think you can boost your acid production like once per day or something that helps do it a bit faster. I think involves going into your truck and you have to like go to a certain part of it. So make sure to do that. Make sure to keep in mind to do that like once a day or whatever. Which I think speeds it up even further for the case of the Acid Lab. And I don't think there's a normal production boost for the Acid Labs. I think for production boost on that, you have to do the like thing inside the truck. Whereas for the biker businesses, it's kind of like an event thing going on. And yes, some adversary mode stuff going on and whatnot. Also, some returning game modes going on as well. It's that time of like month and stuff for that to happen again. Starting off, inch by inch, seems to be one of those like returning game modes for like the month of April going on here. Once like May comes around, I believe it'll be vaulting it again. Football kind of style like game mode. It looks like you're trying to get a package across all positions at line, kind of a football looking kind of mode or some kind of sport. So I guess if you're into that kind of thing, then that's something going on. But adversary modes, the money you make all throughout it would probably all depend on like the amount of rounds, how long the game mode goes in general. It's not a vehicular mode, which I feel tends to be the quicker adversary modes. It could be a bit of a longer one, perhaps. But I don't know, it's not like a full-on, like, proper deathmatch kind of one per se, either. So it's probably not one of the longer, like, ones on, like, your character on foot. So it mostly depends on, like, the amount of rounds, how long it goes, amount of players, which is kind of capped at, like, 6 and 8. Okay, the first one you only get 6, and then the other ones you get 8 player maximum. Interesting. So this one might not be as good as 2, 3, and 4. The absolute most you would probably make an adversary mode is like 100, 200,000, I assume. And that's if your team wins like every single round. Which you never really truly predict how that's going to go, per se. I don't really think the adversary mode is going to be that great for money making. Besides for that, it looks like 2 more adversary modes on like a race type, and that's back. I think it's stunt race for RC. Looks like there's a total of 15 RC Bandito races that return for a limited time. So if you've been waiting a while to play like RC Bandito races, now's the time where you can do that again for the month of April till they most definitely get vaulted again in the month of May. Personally, I feel the RC races really suck in my opinion. There's not really much of an edge you can really get in terms of performance. I think the only thing that would really help much would be like your jump boost. Jump boost is really the only like performance improvement you can really have. Besides for that, even a stock RC Bandito can be pretty competitive with like a customized one. So in a sense, it kind of makes it one of the more like hardcore race types, I feel. Since there's not really much to boost your like performance in a race. If all that makes any sense. So in my opinion, it's one of the worst types of races in that sense. But certainly they're pretty fun. If you're more playing for fun and not for money making. But yeah. I think they pay out like any other race though, so you're not gonna make super crazy money at all, really. Again, probably 100,000, like 200,000 at most. There's not a money opportunity, so you probably will definitely be making under 100,000. Even with 16 player maximum and whatnot. But yeah, that'll probably be a money opportunity sometime in the month of April, but obviously not right now. Besides for that, it looks like Power Mad is back. Looks like your typical 7 maps for the adversary mode. Juggernauts versus like actual players, kind of, it looks like. Some kind of like deathmatch kind of twist with those kind of gimmicks. Looks like there was even a railgun on like Power Med 7. Oh, this is the power-up kind of mode, isn't it? Hence the power at the beginning. Yeah, it seems to even get like the railgun in there, which was even before Drug War DLC. Like you like purchased the railgun even. It was even before that. So it could be pretty fun with like the railgun thrown in there and the juggernaut for sure. This can definitely be kind of a long-lasting one, I feel, in some cases. So it could be a good money-making potential one here when it is put on a money opportunity, possibly later in the month or something. And it looks like Tiny Racers is back. But yeah, retro style elimination, like vehicular game mode. Again, I think the vehicle one's gonna go quicker, so it might not be the greatest for money making. And yeah, I think this one has like top-down perspective. I think it's similar to like the 2D universe of GT games where it's like the top-down perspective. So if you're not a big fan of top-down stuff, then yeah, not really gonna be your greatest option. I would probably wait for it to be on a money opportunity. If not, just play it near like the end of the month or something if you want to like re-experience it before it gets malted again. Probably one of the quicker ones of this bunch for like how long it would probably last. So there should be your few different returning modes: inch by inch, tiny racers, and power mad adversary modes. Going in like the naming on the newswire order there. And for stun races, it was RC Bandito races. For the unvaulted game modes for April, that will probably be revaulted in May. And then from there, it looks like there's just discounts left to cover, and that should pretty much be it. And then I'll be playing the regular HSW time trials at least, and then I'll probably be done, since it's just a boring event week. Anyways. Okay, so I think it's just gonna be like property and like weapon stuff remaining, because again, there's only those 4 vehicle discounts. All of them should have already been covered for vehicles. So, as you would expect with the biker stuff, it's gonna go into that kind of area. I mean, this is like the most cost here. I mean, this one's the most for 95,000 instead of 297,000. On 40% off, it looks like you're getting here. Upgrades, modifications included. That'll be your complete cosmic mural. Complete cosmic style stuff. Wait, what? Huh? It says upgrades modifications, but you're not getting percent off the style. Weird. Usually you get percent off of like every renovation, not style. No, looks like this one. Interesting.
Hello, he's a celebrity.
Even less reason to get that one. Okay, your emblem looks to be on discount. Since now the style does not seem to be. Okay, not sure you have to repurchase that all if you already have it at least or something. Gun locker. Gun locker, you only really need one gun locker at least. I need more than one would obviously just be another cosmetic pretty much. Or like more places to interact with your gun locker per se, which could be kinda nice. You can always just select the one like spawn location whenever you need to. Certain properties tend to be better for gun lockers than others. Like for example, I think the nightclub is one of your better options for the gun locker. Because the nightclub, it comes with purchase of the nightclub. So you don't purchase the gun locker separate for the nightclub, it comes with the nightclub. So there's somewhere it's complimentary where you don't purchase it. But like, it's not that expensive anyways. And yeah, it's only on there because of the crew moment, it looks like. So gun locker if you want it. And yes, for Chrono Enterprises, a custom bike shop was not too worthwhile before Chrono Enterprises. Before Chrono Enterprises, it was just a mod shop where you just modify your bikes like any other mod shop. Now, as of Chrono Enterprise and onward, it allows you to modify customer bikes for legitimate income as well. So your biker clubhouse has an exclusive money opportunity similar to the auto shop thing with like the similar to the car feature and like the auto shop. It's basically that but for bikes. With that new feature as of like the last year pretty much. Definitely worth it now for sure. Not just worth it for convenience anymore, you actually get an actual use for it now. So it definitely needs to for renovations here. Which that's a necessary renovations, you can still get it under like $1 million, like no matter where you choose. I mean, pretty good. Now, I'm not too sure if this one's 40% off as well. That'll be all of your different businesses, so not just cocaine, but it will be for all 5, it sounds like. Again, I'm not sure, but the way it's worded to me does suggest 40% off of the businesses. It says to get started, take advantage of 40% off Biker Clubhouse properties, their upgrades and modifications, and businesses to maximize your new freewheeling lifestyle. They say and businesses at the end, so I assume those are 40% as well. And yeah, tons of passive money to be made, so all of them are worth it. Even if you're not big on biker businesses themselves, you do need it for the nightclub. So you do actually need it for the nightclub though. So even if you don't do the MC businesses, just get them for the nightclub. For the consolidation, since the nightclub is like the ultimate passive business pretty much. Since it pretty much self-produces for you for the most part. In some ways still being even better than the new like acid lab they did. So in some ways the nightclub's better than the acid lab even. Trying to think of what else here. Oh yeah. And even more recently, the street dealers. Street dealers, you now need the businesses for those too. So even more use for your biker businesses, even if you don't do biker sales. So even if you don't need sales, they're very worth picking up.
It's a tour de force. The repartee, the bon mot, it just has that je ne sais quoi. C'est magnifique. I'll set up a meeting. Something personal. My assistant has
And in vehicle discounts, again, it was the Gauntlet Hellfire, the Windsor Drop, GP1 and the Neo for muscle car class, coupe class, super and sport classes respectively, all 30% off for each vehicle. That's a reminder of the speed vehicle discounts. And then there's a couple of things for the gun van, and that will pretty much include the discounts in the event advice section of this part for this stream. Besides for that, we'll pretty much go to the time trials I'll be playing on this stream. So weapon discounts, that will be your assault shotgun for everybody. Plus members will get the Widowmaker for 8% off. So I'll start with the general one and pretty much your better pickup, no doubt. The assault shotgun. Assault shotgun is easily your best shotgun in the entire game. It's called assault for a reason. It's like full automatic fire. Has full automatic fire, which pretty much cannot really be said for any other shotgun or most of the other ones. Even if it could, it's pretty much unbeat in terms of magazine capacity and pretty much everything else. The only one that looks to compete in terms of magazine capacity looks to be your heavy shotgun. But trust me, the assault will be definitely better off. An assault is 32 with extended clip. You need a drum magazine on the heavy shotgun for it to even get the 30. The extended's probably even less in that case. Drum magazine doesn't even get above assault shotgun. So easily the magazine capacity for sure. Damage is obviously very high, being a shotgun. Mostly good for close combat, close quarter combat. If you struggle with the enemies in like in the stash house earlier, I could have been using this, and it's pretty much your best interior weapon. Nothing else will clear out an interior better than the assault shotgun. Assault shotgun is easily your best for clearing the interior, which there's a lot of those in different missions and stuff, so easily one of your top couple weapons in the entire game. These don't really compete, clearly. Bullpup can kind of compete, maybe, in terms of fire rate, but it's only got 14 rounds anyways. I don't even know if you can extend clip this one either. Even if you could, probably not. Musket is not going to compete. Again, probably the most competition would probably go to the heavy shotgun. That's obviously not going to compete. So Whipper shotgun's a pretty fast firing one. The only main advantage of this one is you can shoot it on a motorcycle. Besides for that, pretty much the assault shotgun's pretty much going to be your best option in any case. For on foot combat though. And yeah, this is clearly not really going to compete either. Probably the closest competitor is definitely the sweeper shotgun. Heavy shotgun, probably especially. And a bullpup shotgun, I feel, would probably be your closest competitors, but none of them even hold a candle to this thing. Easily your best assault rifle. Not assault rifle, but shotgun. Only shotgun I feel that seriously competes with it would probably be your explosive pop shotgun. explosive pump shotgun Mark II is easily the only huge, like, competition this would have in terms of damage output. Pretty much. But yeah, I think it's like number 2 weapon for player versus enemy combat. Player versus enemy combat, I feel it's like one of your like number like 2 or number 3 top 3 weapons that you should own in the game. For basic weapons at least, like the service carbine. Not counting like explosive rounds. Not counting explosive rounds, I think it's like number 2. For player versus enemy combat pretty easily. Alright, that's my sales pitch there, I guess. And then the Widowmaker. If you have the Plus subscription, which is only on the 9th gen systems, PS5, Series X and S, Xbox Series X and S, subscription gets 30% off the Widowmaker. Widowmaker's pretty much fucking garbage though. It's just a reskin of the minigun from day 1 of the game. There's really not much of a reason to have the Widowmaker over the minigun. It's only a cosmetic difference. You don't really get anything else as for cosmetic difference. The only major advantage really for the Widowmaker is that it has no rank requirement. No rank requirement whatsoever. I think you can even pick this one up at your agency unless they changed it ever since the gun ban came down. At the beginning of Drug War, I know for a fact you could get this at the agency, but I don't know if they since like changed it where it's only at the gun locker now. Or like the gun van, I mean. But if you can get at the agency anytime you want, then you don't have to worry about the rank requirement on it at least. Whereas the minigun does require a rank 120 to get it. Being the last like rank unlock weapon. That's the only like major advantage. Even that's not much of an advantage if you're at that rank anyways. So mostly a pass, to be honest. But if you're low rank, it could definitely be pretty nice. If you're like double digit. But yes. Yes. But yes. If you are like 2-digit ranked, then it's pretty nice though. So like if you're like rank 99 or something and lower, then yeah, pretty nice. If you're in the 3-digit rank, you might as well just go for rank 120 at that point. Even if you're like 100 for like the lowest triple digit rank, I would say just go for 120 honestly. And just get the minigun. Now you can get ammunition for better convenience than having to go to a very particular location for the gun van that rotates each day. Sure, you can look it up on like a map and get that, but ammunition's still more convenient. So minigun in that sense has that advantage going forward. And he has a heavy weapon, it's a bullet heavy weapon. Widowmaker minigun I think fell off for sure with the addition of the railgun. Railgun is the other heavy weapon that has a bullet projectile. And it's more explosive based as well at the same time. Sure, you can't like spam bullets like the minigun, but the miniguns for sure fell off even more now, I would say, with the railgun being a thing in free mode now. yes, you know, I'm not gonna try fucking going into club working challenges again. I'm not getting rated again from LGT telling me about the
Like to
popos
take
and
off with some
things.
wheels? I can bring them around. It's on the way.
But yes, from here I will just be doing the time trials pretty much. Nothing else really of interest to talk about since I talked about event stuff now essentially. Alright, yeah, it is the one from. Yes, actually, it is the one from. Yes, actually, it is the one from fucking. The Lowrider mission. That one in the desert, I figured it was. I was like, it can't possibly be that one in this city since that's not 2 minutes worth of fuel. Okay, looks like it's supposed to go out here or something. Okay, just making sure. Assume it's supposed to go out that way and not where the destination starts.
I picked up the baby powder for your chafing. Hi.
Oh shit, fuck. I got distracted. I was thinking if I called the helicopter back or not. So I distracted myself there. Fuck. Probably could still do it. I don't know. Would they just still be dragged? Maybe. Holy shit. This present fall off the line of accordance. Like, after that. I could have maybe made it if it had not fell off again. Oh, come on. I'm totally gonna have to go all the way back. I'm still gonna have to. It sucks. And in a bad spot, you don't have to fucking manually go back. Okay. Damn it, man. I thought it still could have happened there. Had I not fell off that second time. I still could have recovered from the first one, but not the second one. Definitely not. Bill. Yeah, the main reason I was going that crazy was because, of course, I fell off the first time because I distracted myself because I was thinking about it. Okay, I did. I don't know how I kind of forgot, but whatever. wait, fuck no, man. I'm curious kind of if there is one later on in that area they can just go out of instead of like right there. I don't know. And yeah, and I'm pretty much just like the way out of there. As I would have expected.
Hello there!
No way, how? Fuck. Fuck. How did I hit a little tiny rock like that? Star covered in his expected. Should have been much more of a breeze there, but a little rock kind of, yeah. Yeah, still a rider mission one. Funnily enough, it went to the G's cache, so normally I don't do these, but that's right here, I might as well. They're not really too worth it, like the stash houses. But because it's here, I haven't even had a vibration yet. Pretty sure I remember these vibrating. I might want to call this sparrow here in case I get popos. So I don't have to do it while at the one level, possibly. Come on, it's gotta be like by the graves or some shit, no? be anywhere in this radius, maybe, I don't know.
Same
Probably
shit,
next to
different
something,
day, friend. Oh yeah, very fucking crisp.
Oh well, it's between this. I literally don't think I had a vibration when I got that fucking close. That makes sense though, you're supposed to kind of go like a scavenger hunt for it, kind of. $7,264. Most worthwhile thing there. Aside from maybe filling up the ammo that this game fucking constantly removes from me with all them fucking ammo glitches in the fucking game. When I do certain missions, it just depletes ammo mine randomly. Because this game is that fucking glitchy, essentially. But yeah. There's also something I kind of forgot to mention. Not in terms of event week itself, but they're discontinuing something in terms of these event weeks. But yes. I think they mentioned it the day before, like April Fool's, or like a couple days before April Fool's, so it's not a joke thing, I know it's pretty much it. I don't even think they mentioned it on like the newswire, like I don't think they even showed up like thing they're discontinuing, but Prime Gaming will be getting discontinued on Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online. Grand Theft Auto Online I get because they have their subscription, but Red Dead Online I really don't fucking get since there's no subscription for that. I don't know, maybe they need to pay fucking Amazon or some shit just to fucking get shit into their game. I don't fucking know how that shit works, but I don't know. Maybe like they have to partner with like Amazon and maybe have to pay them a little bit to do like those like promotional kind of things. I don't fucking know. But honestly, GTA Online, they weren't really doing much with it anyways. Right on, they started doing like 5 gold bars I think near the end, which is actually kind of nice, but yes. They pretty much stopped doing all kinds of interesting things when it came to Prime Gaming. I think the last like huge thing they did with Prime Gaming I think was like when they released like Santos tuners, I think was the last time I can think of. Because Santos tuners, you got like free auto shot. But yes. Santos tuners, you got like a free auto shop. I think that's the last major thing I can think of. And that was like back when I had the Prime Gaming still even. I think like contract DLC was like when they flat out like stopped it pretty much. I mean, not stop like they're doing now. But yeah, as of March 31st, which was a couple days ago, they don't support Prime Gaming anymore. But yes, as of 2 days ago when I'm doing this, like March 31st, they no longer support Prime Gaming for GTA Online. And I think Red Dead Online only go. So yeah, I think they already stopped Prime Gaming when it comes to GTA Online. That was only until like March 31st. And Reddit Online has till April 3rd for Prime Gaming, and then Reddit Online doesn't support Prime Gaming either then. So Prime Gaming will be dead on like April 3rd, like kinda April 1st. Not 1st, but 4th, essentially. So yes, Prime Gaming stuff that went on for the like weeks is essentially the last, essentially. Not that it was really too worthwhile since like contract DLC, but it's kind of missed because it kind of did some pretty nice things. Especially the free casino penthouse was pretty nice because there's only one location. I think the free casino penthouse is honestly my favorite thing they did for the Prime Gaming, for like the property stuff they did. Every other one was kind of okay, but kind of because they pretty much gave out the cheapest locations for Prime Gaming, if I recall. Which for the, I think they did that for like the Time Casino Heist update, the cheapest arcade. Cheapest arcade was fucking garbage. I moved out of that Prime Gaming one. I think the cheapest auto shop still from Prime Gaming is pretty good though for the container update though. Yeah, the property stuff is especially nice. They're saving like massive discounts they did early on, and then they discontinued that. Even before the property being discontinued, I think. Or at the same time or something. Wait, rip Prime Gaming for GTA Online, we're down online.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up. I'll bring it to you.
But yes, for GTA they clearly replaced. For GTA they pretty much clearly replaced Prime Gaming with GTA Plus. But yes. Oops. Forgot to do the change. Like I said, don't mark the GPS, that's terrible. And this one just did this. Or until it goes to the highway, and there, that's better. Much better. Trust me, that's much better. Rather than going cross country and shit. I'm not sure to print quicker, but just really like to do that part. It's pretty fun. Doing that drop down is definitely pretty fucking fun. Oh shit, fuck, hell. And this fucking bike was over me in the way. Even before time return red, let's fucking go. First full proper try there once I realized that my destination was wrong. And I accidentally ignored my advice I gave earlier. We're talking about the down initially. But yes. Very unfortunate news though about the Prime Gaming thing. Though granted it wasn't even that useful, I feel, since contract DLC in the case of GTA. I think once the contract happened there was like none of that like massive vehicle discount stuff and the like property thing. I think that was when they started doing like the minimal like 500,000 or like that might have been like 125,000 even at that point. Because at the end, I think it was only like 125,000 for Prime Gaming for GTA Online, which is basically nothing, and you can easily get that. Literally, I mean more than 150. Sorry, she fucking throat down. But yes, easily made more than 125,000 or whatever that they fucking give the Prime Gaming these days in that one fucking time trial in like a few fucking minutes. So near the end, it was pretty much just, I swear, the $125,000 thing each out a month, whatever. That was the literally just to keep it going each moment. Honestly, Rockstar stopping the good Prime Gaming shit in like late 2021 or whatever the fuck with contracts. That shit was basically the signal that they were doing the fucking Plus subscription that they announced later on. So when Prime Gaming became shit, it was basically their little like sneaky way of announcing it beforehand. So even if I was surprised at my GTA Plus like video thing I did like around a year ago, whatever, I honestly really wasn't truly surprised if I was surprised, because like the Prime Gaming shit became utter trash. It was pretty obvious that was going to happen. When looking back at it, it's pretty obvious that shit was going to happen with the subscription GTA Plus. Honestly, I think the like massive like 2 vehicle discounts, and they had like massive percent off. I feel like it was honestly more savings than some of like the stuff they do for vehicles these days. I don't know. Not gonna lie, there obviously is more value with GTA Plus than there was with Prime Gaming. Since it's their own subscription, they're more incentivized, obviously, to give better stuff. Like the money tech, like vehicle and stuff, for example, right now. Just to not have to do like the missions, for example. I don't know. I'm trying to think of as much discussion as I can. Honestly, Red Dead Online, I didn't feel Prime Gaming really fell off that much for Red Dead Online. I feel it was pretty okay, at least, especially when they started doing the 5 gold bars near the end, I think. 5 gold bars near the end, that was actually pretty generous, I feel. Because there was a lot of times, like, beforehand, they weren't doing, like, 5 gold, I think, anyways, before that. Yeah. Red Dead Online is a similar fate, though. I don't know. They only really did the huge stuff, I feel, when, like, DLCs first came out, and I think that was always the case, even with GTA Online. For like the property stuff for free and whatnot. Like I think it was like condenser upgrade from Moonshiner, for example. You can get the condenser upgrade for free, I think, for Moonshiner with Prime Gaming, which is pretty tight. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be missed. Huh. Now they're busy hell promoting their own fucking subscription, which is utter fucking cringe. That they keep doing that, and they keep promoting the fucking subscription to me. Yeah, I clearly have no fucking interest in it. Yeah, they promoted to me like 3, 4, 5 fucking times each time I start a fucking live stream. Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. I think it was pretty much just properties for free when like the DLC first came out for GTA and Red Dead. I think it was like just certain things for free. For like huge like major things with the release of an update. And then I think it was like a couple free not free vehicles, but a couple massively discounted vehicles. No, I think yes, on a couple occasions there were like actually free vehicles on a couple occasions for Prime. That was cool too, especially. I don't know. I can't really think of much to add here. I think almost 2 hour 40 minute stream got in. I didn't realize that. But partly it's because of the massive like Prime Gaming discontinuation discussion near the end here. That's fine with me, I guess. I think that's probably gonna be it for this stream. Next stream, I think, will be a Red Dead Online stream. I thought that last time. I guess Red Dead Online's getting the event this Tuesday or something, I think. Coming up in a couple days. Pretty sure. I don't think I skipped over it by accident or anything. But yeah, Red Dead Online. But yes, Red Dead Online definitely gonna be a whole lot, like... Red Dead Online is gonna be even more depressing without Prime Gaming now. Very unfortunate. I didn't have it for like 9 months now or some shit, I think, now. For Prime Gaming, I haven't had it for like 9 months now, so I don't care too much anymore. But that shit was a shit, yeah, that's finally fucking it for the stream now. Hope you enjoyed.